welcome back. Jiujitsu2000 here today. I've got my phone in my hand. My phone's in my hand because I'm about to be called to go to work here any minute actually. So I'm gonna try to get this video out and hopefully I won't be interrupted with a phone call to go to work. But anyway, the topic that I'd like to discuss in this video today is throughout the time that I've had my YouTube channel, I've received a few comments and a lot of emails and private messages of people asking me, how did you get your YouTube name, Jiujitsu2000? What does that mean? What is that all about? Well, that's what I'd like to talk with you about in this video. In my life, I have several things that I like to do. Obviously, shooting is one of them. Reloading is one of them. I'm a very outdoorsy person. I like to go hiking and camping. I like to backpack. I like to, do kayaking and water sports. I like to rock climb. And I'm a martial artist. I love martial arts. In fact, of all the things that I enjoy in my life, that I mentioned just a second ago, all the climbing and everything, martial arts is by far the biggest one in my life. I've been doing it the longest and I'm the most passionate about the martial arts. And that's kind of why I got the name Jiujitsu2000, but I'll explain a little more deeper here in this video. So I don't really know quite where to start, so I'm looking down at the floor here and I have a lot of things that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to try to get through this video without talking too much so that it doesn't drag on, but I do have some things I'd like to talk about. So I'm holding a little karate trophy here, NAKA. That's the North American Karate Association Mano a Mano Championship. This is an old karate trophy that I got when I was a kid. I don't know, I was probably 13 or 14 years old when I did that. Right here I have a ribbon, 160 to 180 pound advanced division, 1996, May 11th. King of the Hill Grappling tournament. I placed second. This is an old ribbon that I've gotten. And let me explain one thing. As a martial artist, I do two different types of martial arts. My very first discipline was karate, which is a striking based martial art. It's kicking and punching. And I have a lot of time in karate, in the striking art. And I also study jiu-jitsu, which is a grappling art, which is similar to wrestling. It's kind of like we go to the ground and we look for submission holds. So some of the things that I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to say striking or karate, or I might say grappling or jiu-jitsu. And so I'm just trying to clarify so that you understand as you're viewing this video what I'm talking about. So again, this was a karate trophy and this was a jiu-jitsu ribbon. Over the years, like this little medal I probably got when I was a kid. It's some sort of karate or taekwondo, it's a striking medal I got for participating in some little tournament. That's kind of interesting. Again, I got this one when I was a young kid. It's a wrestling tournament, probably, I'm guessing, for high school wrestling or something. This medal here is Arizona State University, so it's a college wrestling medal, ASU, for wrestling. And right here, this is a second place tournament in 1996. It's for the King of the Mountain tournament. This was a karate tournament I placed second in. That was in 1996. It was in Flagstaff, Arizona. And it was for karate. And in the martial arts, I've been awarded my black belt when I was a junior in high school. And then, so a lot of these happened afterwards, you know. I'm just hanging these up to kind of get them out of the way. So that happened in '96. That was the King of the Mountain Flagstaff. It was a karate tournament. So '96 I would have competed at a black belt level, because I got my black belt, whoa gosh, '92 I'm guessing. I was a junior in high school. I graduated in '93, so I'm guessing it was '92. This is a third place trophy, February 23rd, 1996. It's a grappling trophy for the American Grappling Association, which was in Phoenix, Arizona. And the American Grappling Association was headed by a man named Richard Hamilton. And Richard Hamilton had influence over a lot of UFC fighters. In the very first UFC, there was a guy named Zane Frazier. He was under Richard Hamilton. There was a guy named Don Fry. He was a champion of the UFC. And there was a guy named Dan Severn and a guy named Christoph Lininger. And all of these guys were affiliated with the AGA, the American Grappling Association. And that's these tournaments that I used to compete in. So there's February '96, third place. And again, I have a bunch of tournament trophies that I'm going to be sharing with you. This one is also an AGA, September of '98, third place, American Grappling Association. And like I said, some of those names of those guys that were in the early UFC, they were part of the AGA. This one says USKA, second place, Players Championships, February 10th, '96. A second place trophy for karate. Black belt division, karate tournament trophy. Now, let me talk a little bit about the way these tournaments work in the martial arts, at least from my experience in my past. They would basically take the state of Arizona, in which I'm from, and they'd split it roughly into 4 sections, and they would call that the small regionals. So you would have like section A, you know, maybe Flagstaff, Arizona, Winslow, Arizona, Holbrook, Phoenix in this section. Then you'd have like Tucson, Yuma, and maybe, you know, so you'd have to win one of those 4 sections, first, second, or third, and then that would qualify you to go fight in the whole state. Well, this second place trophy here from '96, February, that was a small sectional tournament in Arizona. So, and with that being said, if you won the small section, then you could go to the state, and if you won first, second, or third in your state, you could go to what they referred to back then as the big region. And the big regionals was like Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and then they'd have another one, Montana, Idaho, you know, and they had these big regions. And if you won the big regionals or your state, you were then qualified to go into the nationals. And once you got to the national level, if you placed first, second, or third in your nationals, that would qualify you to go to the worlds. So this was, again, February of '96, second place in the regionals, the small regionals. Now let me see, let me move forward. This trophy here is in pieces because I've lost the bolt that holds this together. But this is a second place trophy. It's an American Grappling Association, June 6th of 1997. It's a second place tournament trophy, and that was a really fun time, 1997. And that was again in a grappling tournament. Here's another one, second place, March 7th of '97. It's an American Grappling Association tournament. And remember, I said it's all those UFC fighters, Zane Frazier and all those guys. That's a second place tournament. And the jiu-jitsu back then was a lot different than it is today. Today, jiu-jitsu, you score a lot different than you did back then. nowadays you score for getting the mounted position, you score for what they refer to as a sweep, which is basically a reversal. Takedowns, you score for that. You score for passing the guy's guard. All these different reasons of scoring. And also nowadays you get advantage points. And back when I competed in jiu-jitsu, the scoring system was totally different. So it was a little harder back then because they really emphasized submission. This tournament here was March 6th, 1998. It was the American Grappling Association tournament, first place. And you can see the crosses on here. They put these crosses on this trophy because that tournament was held at the corner of Bethany Home and Central in Phoenix. It was the North, what was it? The North, what did they call that? Something Baptist Church. It was the corner of Bethany Home and Central. The North Phoenix Baptist Church, I think is what it was called. And so they put crosses on their trophies since the tournament was held at a church. It's kind of cool. Kind of a neat memory there. So there's some of the trophies. Here we have a third place trophy for June 5th of 98. This was the American Grappling Association, Phoenix, Arizona. Nice tournament. And again, that was grappling. Here, this one is actually 1996. March 29th, 1996. This trophy is first place, and this is probably one of my proudest achievements. Not because it's first place. I mean, obviously it was good to win the first place showing, but this one means a lot to me because I had like 3 fights that night, and the first guy, he walked out, he looked like Mr. Clean. I mean, bald head, shredded, mean looking guy. He came out and I was so nervous. And we started the fight, and within 45 seconds he was asking the referee to not continue. He couldn't continue. And I didn't even apply a submission hold yet. I think he realized that I wanted it more than he did. And again, in these Grappling Association tournaments, there was no striking. It was just kind of like wrestling, but you would go to the ground and you would apply a submission hold and basically get your opponent to say uncle, to give up. They would tap out. So the first match I won, and then the second match I went against a good friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name, just out of respect for him. But I competed with him, and he ended up had me in a choke, and then I was in trouble in the match, and then I ended up coming out of it and winning the match. So that was a very proud moment for me in my life. This tournament is September 5th, 1997. First place tournament. Again, it's an AGA tournament. Again, you know, the crosses because it was at the North Phoenix Baptist Church again. First place. That was a great moment. Good tournament. A lot of tough, stiff competition there. I placed first. Very proud moment in my life. This one again, September 4th, 1998. First place, American Grappling Association. Again, a really fun show. We had a good time there. Tough competitors. Very hard tournament. Had a really tough time, and I ended up winning the first place trophy that night. It was a huge memory for me, a good time in my life. It was awesome. I'll never forget these. Each one of these trophies I could remember every match. This one, again, it's an AGA tournament, February 6th, 1999, first place tournament trophy. So as you can see, as I got up in the years, towards the late of the 90s, I started doing better as far as placing first, and I ended up pretty much showing on all of these events. So I was getting better, I guess you could say, over the years. So I thought, well, I'll go out and I'll do a mixed martial arts fight. I'll do a cage fight, because back then that was very popular. So I went to Carlsbad, New Mexico, and I fought in a tournament. I'm reading it right here. It's called the In-House. It was a Pro-Am runner-up, Rumble 5, 1999. And this is what they awarded me. And it was kind of a cool, it was a cage fight. It was in a big it was in Carlsbad, New Mexico. And this medal was second place. It was a silver medal. And I actually won a leather belt, and these medals would slide in this little pocket in the belt. And this was for 99. It was a mixed martial arts fight. I won the silver medal. Then I went back, because I was holding a belt, I had to go back and defend it, and I won the gold that in 2000. And this was also in Carlsbad. It's called a round 1 tournament. It was pretty neat memory there. So I have those. Those are pretty neat. When I went to these mixed martial arts fights, I had been fighting with all these trophies, and all these victories that I had were in my own weight class. So when I started to do the mixed martial arts fighting, I thought, man, I don't want to fight guys my size. So when I weighed in with my gi on, and I had ankle weights on underneath my pants, and I weighed in at like 205 pounds, and I only walked around about 170 or something like that. So it was kind of neat. I got to fight the heavier guys. I wanted more of a challenge, I guess you could say. So that was pretty cool. 1998, this was the third place in the United States Karate Alliance, the USKA New Mexico State Championships, black belt men kickboxing. I placed third, and this was in the state of New Mexico. Third place. Pretty cool. That was for kickboxing. And also in 1998, that same tournament, I did a grappling division, and I placed second, black belt men there. And then in 99 came around, I went and competed in the Nationals. Took a gold medal, United States Karate Alliance Nationals, and I'm reading the back here. It says Nationals, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I took a gold medal in the Nationals in 99. I also took a silver medal. So I'm a two-time medal at the Nationals. Silver and gold, 99. And on the back, gives you the inscription, United States Karate Alliance. Now, the gold medal in the Nationals I placed, that was for the kickboxing, for the karate, black belt men karate, and the silver medal was for their grappling, and black belt men grappling. I lost in the finals to a very good friend of mine. In fact, he's a Helson Gracie instructor, second or third degree black belt now, but that was in 99. So that was probably one of my proudest moments, those medals there from 1999. Now, of those two, you know, the gold and the silver, to me, the silver means more to me. And it's because the guy that I fought in the finals was a very good friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name, and it's, you know, but he's a very, very credible guy. In fact, I think last year he won. He still competes today. I think he won the Worlds last year. So that was in 99. And remember when I said if you place in your state first, second, or third, that qualifies you for the Nationals. Well, so I won the state of New Mexico. Then I went to the Nationals and I won the Nationals, gold and silver. So if you place first, second, or third in your nationals, that qualifies you to go to the worlds. So 99, I won the nationals. Now we're talking about 2000. 2000, United States Karate Alliance Nationals. 2000, third place. This third place cup for the nationals was for karate, black belt men karate, kickboxing basically. Then also in 2000, I took second place, same tournament again, the nationals, 2000. I took second in the grappling, black belt men. And it's funny because when you look at the medals from 99 in the nationals, more importantly the silver medal in grappling, I lost to a good friend of mine by an arm lock. And he got my arm out and I tapped out. Well, I met him again in 2000 and we ended up fighting again in the finals. And the same thing ended up happening. But the fight went a lot longer and I actually was doing much better the second time around. But in the end, I got caught again with an arm lock and I tapped out. So, this is my black belt that I was awarded when I was young. I was a junior in high school. And all of these trophies and medals behind me are medals and trophies that I've had over the years. So back to my name, Jiujitsu2000. You're probably sitting there thinking, how did you get the name Jiujitsu2000? It's kind of funny. I was trying to get an email address and I wanted to find a place to get my email address, and I wanted to get like Jiu-Jitsu at Yahoo or something, but it was taken. So I thought, well, Jiu-Jitsu99 because of the nationals, but it was taken. So I ended up getting Jiujitsu2000 at Yahoo. That was my email address. And so when it came time to do my YouTube channel, I chose Jiujitsu2000 to be my YouTube name. So in 2001, I was going to go compete in the Worlds. And this is where it gets kind of hard for me. My great-grandfather was diagnosed with cancer, terminal cancer, and I was about 3 weeks into training for the Worlds. I was going to go compete in New Orleans. And our family got a phone call that he wasn't doing too good. My great-grandfather, who I thought so much about, you know, he was an incredible inspiration to me in my life, a huge role model, mentor, I mean everything in my life. So he ended up passing away. And that was really hard for me. And what was the hardest for me is on his dying bed, he asked my mom to tell me to please not compete anymore. And I don't think he understood the passion that I had for the martial arts, and I don't think he really understood what it meant to me inside of my heart, what it meant to me. I think because of his lack of experience or understanding of the martial arts, I think that he thought that it was all just fighting and tough man kind of stuff, and I don't think he understood that a lot of the people that I compete with and against are very, very intelligent people. They're humble people. I don't think he really understood all of that. But so anyway, in a nutshell, he asked my mom if I would quit fighting. So I competed one more time in El Paso, Texas. It was the Hayashi tournament. I think there was like 54 competitors or something like that, and I placed first. I won the tournament, the whole tournament. And after that, I didn't compete again. I took about 7 years off from the sport, and it killed me in my heart. You know, the flame that I had once to compete had burned out. You know, I didn't have that fire in my eyes anymore to compete. And so 7 years went by. And then in 2008, I decided that I would try to come back. And by then I was kind of chubby and kind of overweight, and I jumped into training, and I was about 195, 197 pounds, almost 200 pounds, and I wanted to fight at welterweight, which to make the long story short, the competition that I wanted to compete in, the weight class was 167.5 pounds. It's the IBJJF, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. And so I wanted to compete at that weight. So I cut 30 pounds in about 8 weeks. And I weighed in at 165. I competed. I didn't get submitted. I ended up losing the match on points. I just didn't have the fire anymore. So it was that moment in my life that I decided to change, to shift gears from a competitor to a coach, to a mentor type thing. And that's where I really shine the most, is as a teacher, as a competitor. Now, you remember, I don't know if I said it earlier, but I started teaching my own system back in '95. And so after the 2001 and 2008 things, you know, I shifted gears into the mentor slash trainer slash coach slash teacher kind of things, and been doing that ever since. I'm looking at my belt here, and it's actually, the writing is actually backwards. I have it showing it backwards. Let me fix it so you can read it the way it should be read. And yeah, so it was hard for me losing my great-grandfather. That's the way it should be read. And each one of those characters means something to me. And so does that red stripe. That means something. So yeah, the loss of my great-grandfather, that was really tough on me. But without getting off topic too much, and without getting into mourning too much, martial arts is a huge part of my life, and I am Jiujitsu2000. I want to say thank you to everybody out there watching. I appreciate the support to my channel. Thanks for all the kind words. You know, I'm going to remain a humble person. I'm going to stay being humble. That's the way I am. That's the way I want to be. I'm going to keep my head down low, and I'm going to keep putting out good videos. But anyway, I thought I would share with you how the name came about. So thanks for watching. Have a good day, everybody. Jiu-Jitsu2000, remember that. Later.